All right, it's 7 o'clock, Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. I'd like to call the Town of Lake Mills Town Board monthly meeting to order.
We'll note that Dave Schrader is out, he's ill tonight, so.
Correct. Notice posted at the Town Hall on the town's website. Can we get a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
Make a motion to adopt the agenda as printed.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Can we get a motion to approve the minutes from December 10th, 2024?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of December 10th, 2024 as printed.
I will second those. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Can we get a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
We first have to make an amendment to the December 2024 disbursements of, so I'll make a motion that we amend the disbursements of from $129,393.72 to $135,911.83.
Okay, I'll second those. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report for January 2025.
And I'll second that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Town board expense sheets?
None this
None. Approval of general fund vouching, regular.
I make a motion to approve the disbursements. Disbursements for December, or January 14th, of $2,606,212.13.
And I will second that. Any other discussion?
Just want to note that that also includes, that large number includes all the tax settlements that have to go out, so.
Correct, school district and county.
County and such.
Yep. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Reports. Police report, Chief Kaminsky.
For December, there was a total of 7.5 hours of patrol time done in the township, several traffic stops, one ordinance citation was issued at that, during those patrol hours. There was some administrative hours done between myself, Sergeant Miller, and I think Randy is working on, Randy Burns is finishing the boat report with the clerk, if they haven't finished it already,
No, I'm still working on it.
for submission. I think it has to be in end of January.
Correct.
So, and also the boat was ordered last month in December, and we should see the boat in February, is what they're anticipating.
Okay,
So that's what we have.
excellent. Thank you.
Is the old one up for sale?
Not yet.
Okay.
Plan Commission report. Jim.
We didn't have a meeting this month, so no report.
Fire and EMS report. I don't know if you want to read that.
We'll do that, we can have them report next month.
That's fine, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I got it on my phone in small print, so I don't know if I want to try reading it. All right, we'll do that next month. Joint Rock Lake Committee report. Wendy.
Just take one and pass them down, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Good evening, all.
Now we can say one for Dave.
First of all, we are not going to make our recommendations tonight as it says on the agenda. We have decided to wait until February. So our report goes as so. If anybody has seen the press release from Reline Watercraft distributor who spoke at our public information session, it is a bit misleading. The recommendation they listed are not recommendations that we made. They are recommendations that that could be made and that we did talk about in our public information session, along with a lot of other things. They were kind of a litany list of things, of recommendations that could be made for a wake boat enhanced technology. But they only listed 2 things. And I'm not going to go over it because I think it was just listed on their website. Our priority project continues to focus on weight enhanced technology. As I said earlier, we have agreed to we've agreed on recommendations, but have decided to present them at the February board meeting, at the same time as the RLIA is planning to present theirs to your board meeting. And we're planning a work session with the RLIA on January 29th to coordinate our presentations to reduce redundancies in some of the information. We don't want to be presenting the same things over and over again. And maybe not even present some of the things we've already presented to you before. We are still waiting for information on the Majala Channel dredging permit that we sent in to have an extension put on somewhere. It got lost in the minutia, and they've assured us it will be extended, but we're still waiting to get that extension. The RLIA, the JRLC did request the RLIA to, if they could provide tags for our AIS tools, and they have got a volunteer that is willing to make them for us, so that still has to be coordinated. As you know, I've said before, I'm resigning as of tonight from the committee for many reasons. Moving forward, Pat Stevens will be serving as the chairperson until the next election. And going along with the Wake Boat, Wake Enhanced Technology, there is a coalition on Wake Boat technology in Wisconsin with over 60 organizations / groups, of which the RLIA is involved in or a member of, and they support, and I don't want to say the exact things because I don't have it in front of me, but they support a depth and distance regulation for wake boats. And we are looking into that also. As you know, the committee needs 2 more town representatives, and anybody here who is concerned with the lake, please, and if you want to speak today at the public comment, I know that you deeply care about Rock Lake, so step up, fill out an application. The lake needs you. We need your support. It's not a hard job. It's not a huge time commitment, but the lake needs people like you guys to step up and support it. And I've really enjoyed doing this job, so thank you very much. Any questions?
Thanks a lot for your service, Wendy.
Thank
You did
you.
a great job. Okay, Town Chairman report. City, County, State Communications. Biddings on Rock Lake Road. Corey was getting those out, so we have something back by our February meeting. Lake Lane he's keeping separate, away from that, along with some of the other bidding that we'll have to do. But we'll have a lot better idea next month once these prices come back on what we're gonna have and have left to do some of the other maintenance that we need to get done. I'm sure it's gonna be a wonderful pothole year. I'm sure there's gonna be more trees, and I know there's plenty of crack filling in some other areas that need to be addressed, so it's gonna go fast, unfortunately. It's just the way roads are. Expensive. City, we're waiting back for fire contract. Oh, good.
I had reached out to Drake and it isn't quite done yet, so
Okay.
he's gonna get
So
it to
they're-
us, so we have it for February.
We're still working on it. I see Chief Russ back there. You have anything tonight, Chief Russ?
Update on the fire department, the ladder truck's in, we've been doing some training on it. We found a few quirks in it that had to get kind of worked out, but back up operational, and looking forward to having that in service for around the first week or 2 in February. Right now the crews are going through aerial entry-level operator tests with Madison Area Tech College. So we did have a lake rescue. We had an ice boater that went through the lake, or through the ice on the lake. He found himself in a spot where the geese were keeping it open out in the middle, and dipped one of the runners into the hole and hooked it. Crews were able to get out there relatively quick, get them out. The boat was left on the ice at that time. We had a few community residents that were looking to organize to go out and retrieve the boat. When I heard that was kind of going on, I would rather, we've made one successful rescue and I don't want 15 people out there. So we turned it into a training effort. We took the airboat out there. We were able to get out to the ice boat. Eventually we were able to get it out, and I'm very glad that we did go out there because If anybody's familiar with ice boats, basically there's 3 steel runners on it. They can be very sharp at times. Well, this one was sticking up about 3-4 feet. If somebody on a snowmobile and ATV would have been coming through there, that could have been a very, very bad injury if they would have hit it. When we were trying to re-find where the ice boat was, it was pretty hard to see, so I'm glad that we did go back out there and got it out. Seems like it's a great recreational sport. I don't know if you'll catch me on one. They say that there's a very small window of when you can use it, so it's kind of a thin period of time, no pun intended, that you can use it when the ice is just really forming. So, other than that, quarterly meeting, right now, talking with the townships, you guys are in the unique where normally you guys lead off the township meetings for me on the second week. This time you're on the end of it. The February 24th is what we're looking at. Build that around in your head, looking at 6 p.m. at City Hall. Sam will be there to kind of go over financial stuff if there's any questions. I know with the ladder truck coming on to the debt service and those items, but looking to have a meeting on the 24th. So. Right now, Milford's in. Is that being okay? Ascalon is in. The only other one that I have left besides you guys tonight is Waterloo tomorrow.
Okay. I'm assuming EMS got off without a hitch too.
Yeah, EMS has been up and running,
Yeah.
no problems. We did have a spurt right at the beginning, which whenever you do a transition, it always seems to happen.
Yeah.
We normally have some big events that kick off the new test the waters of it, and everything has gone off without any problems. So,
Excellent. Thanks, Chief Russ.
all right, I'm going to get back to training.
All right,
All right, sounds great.
thank you.
Been in communication with Brian Yu at the county. There's a few changes over there. I think he's moving on into something else, and there's another person taking his old role. But so there'll be a little bit of transition there. But the county's been really good in the town of Lake Mills in the past, and we hope that will continue. So they have saved us substantial amounts of money, especially on some of these smaller road reconstructs that we've done with them. So. That's always a good thing. Not a whole lot new at the state level as of the new year here. And that's all I have. All right, period of public comment. This is the time that the general public can come to the podium. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes and less. Please state your name and your address.
And make sure you sign in on the sheet if you
And
speak.
sign in.
please.
Hi, thank you for allowing us to speak. My name's Beth Naughton. I live at W7898 County Road B. And previously, other community members have spoken about the Vanguard proposal. And at the most recent city council meeting, it was announced that that was paused for now because the property owner was going to be submitting a letter to the city. And in an interesting turn of events, today he posted on Facebook his offer to sell the property to anyone coming up with the requested amount, and he's looking to get $365,000 for the property. As I'm sure you're aware, the properties surrounding it on the north side are all township. So I'd just like to propose that the township look at purchasing the property and return it so that it would all be township property there. And we could even look at a creative way to finance it, look at getting public donations and see what we could come up with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead. No, please. Please, being so polite. Good evening. I'm part of the RLIA. My name is Doug Millay. We won't be making a recommendation tonight. Like you said, we'll be at the next meeting. But based on some of the communications that's going on, I thought we would put a letter into, or a comment into record. My name is Doug Millay. I'm speaking on behalf of Rock Lake Improvement Association. Wisconsinites are increasingly concerned about enhanced lake recreation on their lakes. Just last week, the Lake Mills leader ran an article, statewide coalition that has grown from only one group, 5 to 60 in the last year. The coalition is advocating for a meaningful statewide restriction of enhanced wake operation. Rock Lake Improvement Association surveyed its members to get their perspective on the issue. 206 households were contacted. 86 of the respondents asked for a meaningful regulation of the activity, including 64% advocating for the ban of enhanced wake recreation. The respondents represented was a cross-section of Rock Lake recreational usage. 73% were lakefront property owners, 19% were public launch access to the lake, 7% were deeded access. The survey also indicated that 20% of the respondents owned wake boats, including RLIA board members, and all wake boat owners except for one used the ballast feature on Rock Lake. An increasing number of credible research studies indicate several concerns with this activity. For our residents, the number one concern is the scoring of the lake bed and the potential disruption of fish habitat. In addition to the disruption of fish habitat, scoring the lake bed increases the release of nitrogens. A study published in November allowed that the total phosphorus more than doubled due to the enhanced wake scoring in 20 feet of water. This nutrient increase has not been seen by the use of standard ski boats. Churning up nutrients from the lake bottom, as well as metals and other pollutants, are concerning possibilities. Our residents were also concerned about ballast tanks introducing new aquatic invasive species to Rock Lake. Although many different types of boats can transfer water between lakes, it's clear the ballast tanks size are a higher risk. The third issue concerning residents is the potential of damage to the lake shore. Even heavily armored lake shores like seawalls can see damage increased by powerful waves. Underlining all the concerns is the realization that fixing damage to a lake's ecology is very difficult. It's not like reseeding your front lawn after you burn it out. Instead, fixing the lake is expensive, difficult, and in the case of invasive species, completely impossible. Much to avoid the damage from occurring, it's better to avoid the damage than to try to remediate it afterwards. I have a personal comment that I was going to say in the beginning. I spent 40 years in manufacturing in an industry that left a lot of areas in need of improvement. I spent the next 20 years actively involved in helping those areas. I'm not an environmentalist, but we had several people come out with initiatives and reports showing that some of the things we were producing were absolutely fine, and later to find out they weren't. This shouldn't be about somebody buying a $100,000 boat. This shouldn't be about somebody owning a dealership that wants to sell somebody a $100,000 boat. 200 lakes have either banned or somehow controlled the use of this type of watercraft. It's about the lake, and I do think that's what we should be considering. Again, the RLIA will not make its recommendation to the next meeting. I want to thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah. Next.
All right. The sign here, where's the sign?
I
Should be
grabbed
right
it too.
Voting. Do I have to
Logging
take it?
off.
That's good. Great, I'm Will Gruber. Address is North 7214 Deer Lake Lane, town of Lake Mills. Town of Lake Mills, I know my address, Marshall zip code. And I'm one of the 4 circuit court judges in Jefferson County. and I'm running for re-election in Branch 1. The election is April 1st, so I appreciate the opportunity to go around the county and introduce myself to my constituents, people who pay my salary. Some of us judges tend to get a little reclusive as our career goes on, and it becomes sort of a pattern of every 6 years I'll go out there and I'll talk to folks. And so I think I think this is an important thing for judges to do. I was appointed to the court in 2018 by Governor Walker. I was elected in 2019. Prior to this, I was the city attorney in the city of Watertown, and prior to that, I was an attorney for Dodge County. Since being appointed and first elected, I've presided over every type of case, 35 jury trials, and virtually every type of dispute or legal interest you could think of. I'm pleased to have a broad and varied list of public endorsers across all sectors: civic, government, criminal justice, nonprofit. I'm proud of my case processing accountability, and especially pleased with my 89% affirmation rate with the Court of Appeals. In addition to my experience, I've prided myself on my procedural fairness, active listening, and enforcing civility in the courtroom with everyone, including members of the bar. I'm currently the chair of the Community Justice Collaborating Council. I was the previous chair of the Courthouse Security and Facilities Committee, and in 2023 I was the presiding judge of the treatment courts. I live, like I said, I live in the town of Lake Mills, not the town of Jefferson, the town of Lake Mills. We're off of Highway O with my wife, she grew up in Watertown and fell in love with Lake Mills just like I did. I volunteer at the Humane Society, I volunteer at Friends of Corth Park, and I'm a member of Lake Mills Rotary. And I'm grateful to have earned the trust of the county and to be able to do such fulfilling work on a daily basis and have direct impacts, especially when it comes to community safety. So, and I'm certainly eager to be retained for the position for the next 6 years if the voters will endorse that. So thank you for the opportunity.
What's your name again, please?
First name is Will, last name Gruber. Yeah. No relation to David.
Thank you, Judge
Thank God.
Brewer. Thank you, Judge Brewer.
Thank you, Will.
Good evening, Town Board. I'm Lisa Curler, 369 West Prospect Street in the city of Lake Mills, and current City Council President. And I'm here tonight with thank yous. Number one, thank you, Tom, Jim, and Dave. I'm sorry he's not here, for your service to the community for these many years, and wish you all well in your futures as you step down in the next few months. Also want to make a public thank you to the Joint Rock Lake Committee as a group. I've had the opportunity to attend most of their meetings in the last couple of years since I've been serving as the council president, and they work very well together. I feel they've been very effective on some tough issues that both the city and the town have asked them to work on. They spent a lot of time and effort working on lake levels, gathering data, making recommendations. Now they've, for the last number of months, been working on the wake enhancement technology. And in addition to those tough issues, they're also regularly working on educating the community about the asset of Rock Lake that we have, and everything from ice fishing safety to invasive species protections. So I'm very grateful that we have that committee, and that's jointly sponsored by our two municipalities. Another thank you then, I guess, for Wendy stepping down tonight. She's been the chair of the committee since I've been attending the meetings, and extremely effective in running the meetings, being aware of what the issues are, being very open to public comment and public engagement, and really helping people feel that their concerns and their perspectives are listened to as the committee's been going through their work. So I just want to give a special shout out to Wendy Catalani Davies for her many years, I think it's been quite a few years, on the committee, and the last couple of years as the chair. So I'll echo Wendy's sentiments that I think the committee has been very effective. It now will have 2 vacancies from the township, so I hope that there are folks that will that care about the lake that would like to step forward and be involved, and that you'll have a chance to appoint a couple more folks to the committee. Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa.
And I'll just just note that if people are interested, on the Town of Lake Mills website, under the government tab, and then forms and permits is where the application is. So that's where it's been.
Hi, my name is Scott Polster. I actually live in between Lake Mills and Cambridge on Town of Oakland and 4676 Old Forest Road. I keep a wake boat on the lake at a friend's place that I rent half their dock. So I have a lift, and I've been on it for 3 years. I used to be a homeowner on Lake Ripley when that started to go down, when they decided that lake was too small, when Leanne and their committee changed that over because the lake was too small. And I've had the pleasure of been working with and a member of the RL IA committee or association, and I've talked to Wendy and appreciate all you guys doing that. And I'm just here to express concern. I think what the association, the committee are doing are awesome. I mean, everybody here wants the lake to help the lake, and I would assume most voters do. But I'm asking the board to please keep your eyes open on some of these studies, on some of the data. I mean, basically we're talking about the St. Anthony Falls study, the Connecticut study, the Indiana study. I mean, they're all quite different. And then the Green Fire study. The Green Fire study, that one, this coalition, that one I don't understand. They came out in May with all this data they said they had of 2024, and they're like, we're going to make a recommendation. They made a recommendation, and it was supposedly all on science and stuff like that, and all of a sudden they partner with a bunch of clubs up north, and come all of a sudden they're an alliance, a coalition, and they change their recommendation. Well, the science didn't change. Why would you change the depth? Unless the other groups have everybody's group's going to have their opinions and views. The science didn't change just because they don't want the wake boats to go up north. I mean, if you change it to 30-foot depth, that takes you out of most of the lakes up north. I mean, the up north lakes, the biggest issue with the up north lakes is like Lake Ripley. It's not big enough. And I do agree with the suggestion away from shore. I think that's there should be. And I do agree with a certain depth, because I can hear my boat. I can't hear everybody else's boat. I can hear when my boat goes too shallow. There's a noise change that I know I'm bouncing wave off the ground. But I don't hear a difference above 10 feet. My boat, I hear it at 8 feet. I know I'm bouncing off the ground. Sure, probably below that there is turbulence, but I don't know if the science would have to tell you if there's damage. But I don't hear it. It doesn't bounce back up on my wake boat. That's just what I understand from the science. But I do believe I would love to see I think the sport zone is a great idea. But I do think we need to share. I think sharing the lake is a great idea also. I think there is a Wisconsin public trust doctrine. The lake is owned by the public. We can't discriminate against people who don't like a certain sport if it's not hurting the lake. If it's hurting the lake, definitely put regulations on it. Put rules to help not hurt the lake, but don't make the rules so restrictive because a certain group of activity doesn't want to see the waves from those boats. If it's not hurting the lake, everybody has a right to be there. We all pay Wisconsin taxes. So I appreciate you guys listening to me and expressing my concerns and watching out for the lake. I think there is some change, I think there is some people doing some fact finding on some of these surveys, and I think they'll be sending them to you guys pretty soon on just fact checking on some of these surveys, just so that they're all correct. But thank you.
Thank you.
And one other thing. I'm not here to cause trouble or stir up anything. But the Rock Lake survey was open for a month, and we got 122 responses. And then they kept it open for 3 more weeks and got 11 more responses. How were those responses attained? And I'd really like to know with those 11 more responses, how much that sways this 60% back and forth when you're only talking 133 responses. So that does, you gotta look, the data seems, I don't know, could seem sketchy.
It's a complicated subject.
It's a complicated subject.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just to clarify that, we will be supplying the survey to you without any modifications to it completely.
Any other public comment?
Hope Oostdike, W8357 Cedar Lane, Town of Lake Mills. Good news. We got some good news. The Knickerbocker Committee has decided that we are going to honor Bob and Linda Delaney and make them the Knickerbocker King and Queen for this year. And I wanted you guys to know that first. I'd really like it if we could have a little town support for that. The event happens on the 1st of February. I am seeking a ATV that would hold 4 people or some other vehicle that we could scurry the king and the queen around. I thought you guys should know that. I think we need to honor Bob for his service, many years of service. And they were delighted to accept that, so it's kind of exciting. All right, my other comment is, over the weekend, I was digging through my paperwork, and I was just about to throw this away, Tom, but I think you really need to have it. This is a book that I kept by my telephone. I had an online service, but I also had a regular service. And when I was the town chairman, I wrote down every call that came in and every response that I made to that call. And there were a lot of them. And I was going to throw this in the trash, and I thought, no, I'm going to bring it to Tom. Because you, Tom, have never called me. I made a complaint about Cedar Lane in maybe May or June of this last year. I made that complaint through the service that the town provides, through the clerk. You have never called me. You have never followed up on this. And I know that this was discussed. The ditch that is forming on the side of Cedar Lane.
And the county came out and they looked at it
Oh
and
yeah,
they
you
gave us an
needed an
estimate.
engineer for that, and you needed all this
We
stuff.
did go look at it.
And so, here we are. There is still a
Yep.
6-inch ditch by the side of Cedar Lane.
Yep.
And as we speak, as the weather changes, the road is going to hell in a hurry. And you've done nothing. And you've called nobody. You've made no contact. And I am personally offended by that. I know that you discussed it, and you discussed it like it was my problem, but I'll tell you what.
No, it's not your
I
problem.
live in that house with my husband Steve, who is also a taxpayer. He was quite offended by the discussion that you had about my problem. Okay, here's how to solve that
I
problem.
don't know where you're getting that from, because
Well, I
it's a
listened to
road
the tape.
it's a road problem and a ditch problem.
All right, and so here's what.
So whoever you heard the hearsay from, you didn't hear it from me.
I didn't hear shit from you, Tom. Not shit for 9 months.
We discussed it right here
All
at
right,
a board
and you haven't
meeting.
done anything. And here's what.
It's gonna get done, don't worry about
And
it.
here's what. We went out and solved the problem. The problem is a shovel problem. We shoveled it out. We now need a load of gravel. This does not require an engineer. This requires
It's not
action.
the proper grade. The engineer was out there and he's a professional. You are not a professional engineer, so don't discuss or talk like one.
Okay.
It is not right, and the grade isn't right, and something you did over there isn't right, so I wouldn't sit there and bark at the board about it.
I am
It's
not
absolutely wrong. That's
barking.
exactly what you're doing.
And you know what,
And you
Tom?
could submit your book to the town, you don't need
Tom,
to submit it
you
to
know
me,
what?
because that's where it should stay.
This is where you're
You're done, move on.
Thank you for your time. You are very unreasonable, and I am really happy that you are moving on to another position.
Order. Next, public comment.
Move on. None noted.
As far as the wakeboard issue, Robin, you can put that on the next agenda, obviously
Got
add
that
that.
Did the RLI want separate slots for the presentation, or are you gonna do kind of a joint?
I think the thought was to do joint and AV equipment to be able to show the presentation.
Okay.
I would recommend joint, and that way we're not getting
We'll
redundant.
have to check to see what will work for AV. We have the screen, and we have the TV. You have to bring a laptop.
We could bring some stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And as far as that issue, it's a very controversial issue, and I think there was one big statement that was made by somebody tonight that the state really doesn't need to get involved. It's really a state issue. It's really not a local issue. This is a big, very complicated issue that affects a lot of people, including landowners that live on the lake and their shorelines. And personally, I don't really like the sport or any of that, but there's a lot of emotion that is wrapped into this, and wrapped into surveys, and wrapped into some of the science and information that's out there. We asked at a board meeting, actually, that the county would write a resolution to help townships out. So we're not all over the board with different ordinances, because that's a big problem. It's a big problem for enforcement. And that's not the right way to do it. And that's why the state really needs to do something. It's been fascinating, because I've sat in a number of meetings and heard the rehashing of lots of information from both sides. And essentially, at the end of the day, I think there's enough support out there now, and people are being heard, that I think the state is going to look at it. I mean, I'm hearing different things in different parts of the state, which I didn't hear before. What I find fascinating is Jefferson County, I don't believe, wrote a resolution. And I know there's several other counties that didn't, and I know there are several counties that have. And there's something going on behind the scenes. I don't know if it's legal liability, I don't know what it is. And I just have to say that the townships are not equipped with legal ability. We have a part-time lawyer, and to fight big corporations, you're gonna go broke, because they're just gonna tie you up in court. And we don't have those types of monies and budgets to cope with those types of things. And that's what makes this a state issue, where they have that ability, and they have the resources and the staff. So it's one of those things. It's, we're weighing everything, but I think there's some bigger entities, and I think some of the push towards the state, your legislatures, urge everybody to write their legislature. The more people that do it, that wakes them up, and they tend to act then. But for us, it's really, really difficult, and it's a precarious position, because we don't want to become part of a bigger problem of having, one out of, 200 200 different ordinances, and it's made just a big headache to try to enforce it. And it opens yourself up for this legal liability concern. So at the end of the day, we'll take a hard look at it, let's say at our February meeting. We're gonna get some more information on it by two great groups, and we'll go from there.
Can I make one other comment? Just on a personal note, one of the concerns, as I mentioned, 200 lakes have made decisions to either ban or adjust or do something. My biggest concern for Rock Lake and being a resident here is that we become a destination lake. That the lakes that ban, people bring their boats here. And we're just gonna see this growing at a pace that might be a lot faster than the state moves. So I'm a firm believer in if you wait for government, you're gonna be sitting around a long time. So I would rather see us as a community worry about our jewel that's sitting out there.
Okay, 9, drawing the names in order of the town board candidates on April 1st, 2025 ballot for chairperson and supervisor 2.
Okay, so since a meeting came up so quickly after nomination papers were out, figured this would be a good time to do it. I've got names for a town chairperson. We have 2 candidates that are running in no particular order here. We've got Kyle Kulo and Susan Trier, so I'm gonna put these 2 in the little bucket here, or draw the order on the ballot. Normally I'd have to do this at some other time, and great people show up, so now I got lots of people to do this with. You wanna draw? First one pulled will be the first one listed on the ballot. Can you see?
No.
Can you get it?
Slippery paper.
Got it? Okay. All right, first name that would be listed for the town chairperson position will be Kyle Kulo, and Susan, then you'll be second. The next position for the supervisor 2 position has got 2 candidates. We have John Thody and Jason Sherrier. I don't think either, is John here?
I'm here.
Sorry, you're right in the front row here. Looking all over. Oh, yeah, the purple one's still in there. Okay, so we'll do the same order. First one drawn will be the first one listed. And for the supervisor 2 position, Jason Shearer will be listed first and John will be listed second. The other candidates are all uncontested in the position, so we have supervisor 1, Tracy Brandel has filed nomination papers, and then Sharon and I both have filed our nomination papers for our positions. So, and Tracy wanted to be here tonight, but she's got a whole house full of flu, so she didn't want to be here. Okay, any questions? That's it. That's all I need.
I'd just like to say thank you for running,
Yeah,
stepping up.
absolutely.
Appreciate it.
It's actually nice to see, and I know it's probably nicer for Dave and Jim to see since they've been on and off for 20-some years.
They were sweating it.
I always encourage, I think it's really important for the public to step up to the plate and have different people do it. I think it's just a community thing. Applications, none tonight?
Nope.
Old business, discussion or decision to fire contract with the city of Lake Mills. We will be getting that, so I think we can move on, right?
Yeah, postpone that till
February.
February.
Discussion or decision of the 522 Parks Ordinance amendments proposed by the Plan Commission.
We had a draft that Jim helped with, and I think the Plan Commission had been working on this as well. I did post the draft on the town's website for people to review. And I know Susan had one typo that she pointed out. Anything else?
No, if you wanted to know what the changes were, or are we just moving on?
No, we can go through them.
Okay, pretty much, the major thing was the addition of the kayak storage racks, which were,
522.12.
right, which was added at 522-12, like Tom said, and then that basically moved all the other sections down by one number. I'll start at the beginning, though. There were some differences in the index at the top, which showed the names there didn't match the names of the sections, so that's been changed and corrected. In 522-3, under definitions, it started out 1 and then went to 5, so those numbers are all changed to be in sequence. Then under 522.4.12C, there was a typo there. I think it says personal, what does it say? The prohibition of paragraph 2, I think there was other language in there that didn't really make any sense, so that cleaned that up. 520, D, item D, same thing. The language was changed to of paragraph 2. And then under 526-6, parking, traffic, and vehicle regulations, the section it refers to under C is 552218, when actually it's 52217. I'm going to give you this.
Okay.
But it's the same.
Yeah.
It's what you've
Sorry,
got.
I'm just making sure I'm following along right.
And then 522.9, under 3, it says, there's a spelling there, it says no person may, it's person may.
May, yeah.
And then the Plan Commission under number 9 added no flying of drones.
Yep.
And like I said before, the numbers under 522.12 and 13 and 14 all changed. And another change, large change, was the 522.16 under penalties. Item 3 was just changed to refer to ordinance 6-3, which covers all that.
Okey-doke.
So I would make a motion to move ordinance 522 on to a public hearing in February with those corrections made.
I'll second that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. New business, decision of 2025 animal contract with the Humane Society of Jefferson County.
They're charging $2.74 per resident, $2.74 per resident. With our population, that equates to $6,082.80. But if you pay in January, you get a deduction of 1.5%. So the total we would owe is $5,991.56. So I'll make a motion to approve that, the contract, and pay in January.
All right, I'll second that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision of proposed amendments to the town liquor license ordinance.
So our attorney had forwarded us some recommendations a while back because there's going to be some changes in the laws. We drafted sort of it wasn't easy because of the formatting in the old ordinance, but we got it through. It's sort of a melding between what he recommended and our old ordinance. Some of the biggest changes is the ability for operators to obtain a statewide operator's license where they were always issued by the municipality that they were serving in. Now they can have, or they have the option to get a statewide one. And just some of the cleanup as far as making sure references to state statutes are up to date and such. Oh, the other difference too for us at a local level is it takes the responsibility of approving the operator's license off of the town board's plate, provides me the authority to do that unless I feel like for some reason a particular one needs to come to the town board, of course, but it will speed up the process so I can get the operator's license out to these establishments after all the background checks and stuff have been done a little quicker, so.
Okay.
A little more efficient.
I think you did a great job putting them together, Robin, merging them, making them. I checked both the attorney's copy, what changes we had against our old ordinance and things. There are a couple small things, but, and I'll give you this copy too. I did find, and I think I gave you a copy. was laying on your desk earlier of, we had the history,
Oh, yeah, this one
we had
here.
the liquor history of the town of Lake Mills since
Yep.
1997, which we want to add as an Exhibit A. And then I did find
Yeah, that's good.
a fact sheet, 3116 from this Department of Revenue, which explains again in further detail the reserve license issue.
You wanna add that as
Yes,
another
as
exhibit?
Exhibit B. So, excuse me, under the first, you have Exhibit A listed, and then I would list the Exhibit B. I'm gonna give here.
Yep.
You can
Yep.
follow right along,
Okay.
because I've got it here.
Thank you, Jim.
And then, next change will be under the licenses fees, which is 217, it's page 5 of 17, item 7. It says the fee for reserved Class B liquor license shall be $10,000. That's the minimum, and this town of Lake Mills has always had $25,000, so that needs to be changed to $25,000 for that reserve license. And then under next page 6, items 5 and 6, I would like to add from our old ordinance, the section that talks about the number of persons and premises that may be granted a regular retail Class B intoxicating liquor license under this ordinance in the town is limited as provided in section 125.51, parents 4 of Wisconsin statutes. And then see also exhibits A and B attached to this ordinance. And then number 6, again, talks about that reserve license. A reserve license is subject to an initial issuance fee of $25,000 to be paid in addition to the annual retail Class B intoxicating liquor license fee. The initial reserve Class B issuance license fee shall be placed in the town's general fund and may be used for any purpose as decided by the town. So those were in our old ordinance. I would like them to be
They should be carried through.
carried
yeah.
through,
Yep.
because
Oh, it's helpful.
it's hard to understand that whole issue about the reserve license. Every
Yep.
time your population arises in 500 population, you get another reserve license.
Right.
So, then on page 7 of 17, I just want to point out that the license fees, they determined from time to time by resolution of the governing body. So if we're going to have to get our attorney to write a resolution listing those fees, which you currently have, correct?
Yes.
Someplace.
It would be the same as what we use for our fee schedule now, right?
Unless we want to change it. Yeah.
Well, the fees we have listed in that fee schedule, so then would that resolution, since we use the resolution for all of our fees, would that apply to this?
Oh, is it in the fees and bond
Yes.
schedule, the same thing?
Our license fees are all listed.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
That should apply to it, but
Okay.
I don't know why it wouldn't.
Okay.
okay, that's fine. Okay, yes,
As long as it's
Didn't think
covered
of that.
in there.
Simple if we
Yep.
can. Hopefully we don't
Yep.
have to have a separate
Okay.
one.
Then page 9 of 17, under operator's license, same thing. You talked about that the clerk can issue the license without the town board going through it, if we are allowed by the governing body, adopted by policy, or by the governing body. Again, I would like our attorney to let us know if that requires a resolution or some kind of documented policy. Or because I don't think this ordinance description allows it. You have to have another action to do it.
Okay.
I just asked the attorney,
Yeah.
I guess.
A good question to ask.
And then 1017, same thing. If the municipality wants to serve alcohol in a public park, municipality under an ordinance or resolution or rule has to be enacted in order to do that. So I don't know if you ever want to do that, or if you just let it go, let future boards worry about it. But again, that would require a resolution.
I mean, we're doing the work right now, I don't,
So we should do the resolution.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so then again.
I mean, we might as well make
I
it
would ask
final
our
and not pass
attorney
ahead
to write
again.
that resolution for us. We get that passed too.
It's less work for them.
Yeah.
And it's a completely done package of an ordinance then. It's all
Right.
set to go.
And then on 15 of 17 page, again, under 211 penalties, the numbering starts at 4, 5, 6, and it should start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I was
6.
struggling with the format.
Yeah, I know, I understand it. And under B, specific penalties or provisions, it says includes specific penalties which are incorporated herein pursuant to section 1 above. Well, that was taken from the attorney's copy, which is now section 2-1-5.
Yeah, okay.
And that's it. So you've got those changes.
Thank you, Jake.
I can
I'll do
send
that.
you the electronic. I've changed a little bit because of the references here.
Okay.
So you'll see them, but you want me to just
Is
send you
that
the...
change on that,
I
this
can-
exhibit in here?
Yes, it is. But you don't have the hard copy, or the Word document on
No,
this.
I don't.
I do. So I'll
Okay.
send you the Word document of this and the PDF of this fact sheet.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you for the work on that one.
No, thank you. You did a good job. So, I don't know what you...
We need to make a motion to move on to the attorney for the
Yeah.
resolutions
Yeah, I think this is
and
gonna-
cleanup.
This isn't gonna be ready, I think, for a public hearing yet next month.
Hopefully in March it will be.
Yeah.
Once we
By
get it done
March.
before
Yeah.
we leave.
Yep.
I'll make a motion that we, Robin make the corrections and then send it on to our attorney for review and possible writing of a couple resolutions.
I'll second that motion. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. And then we have the licensing one, or is that kind of combo done?
Yeah, sorry. I saw that when I was reviewing mine too. So it's the same
Kind of a
thing.
combo.
It's on there
Yeah.
twice.
Yep, okay. All right, correspondence.
Okay, I got a few things. Chief Russ gave us an invite to the 2025 Fire Department Awards Banquet on February 1st at 6 o'clock. He's at the Lake Hills Fire Department. I think we just probably need to RSVP to him if someone intends on going. If more than one of the board members goes, we should be posting out a quorum notice, so you have to let me know if you plan on going. Other items I had, Richard Blotter had contacted me about the trees that are dying or dead in the public right-of-way, or the walkway between his house and Bus's house on Woodfield Lane that the town owns. He's concerned about, they've been dead for about 5 years, and he's concerned about them falling.
That's the one in the right away.
Right.
Yeah,
I
and we should have
told you
that on
about.
our next month's agenda too.
Okay, to have somebody look at them to see.
Well, I'll have Matt go kind of do an assessment to see what kind of costs we might be looking at for that.
Okay.
But I think we also wanted to take a look at,
Just cleaning up that whole section there.
well, and
Just-
getting rid of that piece altogether.
Yeah.
If we can.
Well, the
I don't
first
know if
thing
that's
is the trees
doable.
that
but-
might fall, I think, is the immediate
Well,
concern for Mr. Blatter.
Are they gonna hit his house or anything? or-
He did have a large
Yeah,
massive
there's-
branch that came down and dented his boat that was
Okay.
parked next to his
Yeah,
house.
it's kind of an ugly area.
The other
whole
correspondence, of
section.
course, I had received Wendy's letter of resignation. We do have a February primary coming up. I just got word on that today for the Supreme Court judge race, and I believe there might be a resolution or a referendum question on there. And then, of course, the April elections, so.
Okay.
Yeah, gonna work on this Jefferson
Oh, yeah.
County Hazard Mitigation Plan survey. It's due tomorrow. Did you have any comments on it?
I didn't have any comments. on
Printed
it.
it off, I kind of filled it out, I don't know if you...
I reviewed it, but I didn't fill anything out on it, so I don't know. We can go over it quick tonight, and I can send in what you
Yeah.
put together.
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, we've got a comprehensive plan. We've got an operations plan, I believe. Transportation plan, we got that on Whistler, correct?
Yep.
And a five-year
For
plan.
roads, yeah.
Five-year plan. Parks and outdoor recreation plan, we do have, but it's kind of outdated. But it's
Yeah, that is outdated. yeah.
put down that we do have it. Building codes and uniform dwelling codes, we did adopt those under our building inspection. what personal technical resources does the organization have? I've got designated emergency management manager, that's the police chief. According to our engineering plan, our emergency plan, I'm sorry. Planner or engineer trained in land development, that's our town engineer. Planner engineer trained in construction, I assume he's trained in construction too. So I put a yes for that. Building inspector, yes, we have a building inspector. Warning systems services, yes, we have warning system services. We have mutual aid agreements, fire department, EMS does. Maintenance program, tree trimming, stormwater infrastructure maintenance, etc. I said, yeah, we do.
We pretty much got a town person that does all that stuff, which is great. Yeah.
I didn't know. I put down yes that we have capital improvement project funding. We do have capital funds. We put money in there. Authority to levy taxes and for special purposes, yes, by statute we do. And then we have a municipal website. These are the things that they ask for actual improvements needed. Planning. What improvements do you think you need to effectively manage your natural hazards and disaster response for each category? Planning, I put update, emergency plan, and education.
Yeah, I had Mick go through that, the mitigation plan, and he didn't think it was all that bad.
Okay.
He didn't really recommend any changes to it, so and I'm Robert, it's in the office, so if you want to do a double take at it too.
Sure.
But he didn't have any real big things that stuck out at him, but maybe you will.
Okay.
Ordinances and zoning, our ordinances are all just updated. We went through the whole book, so personnel and technical resources. I said we don't have the funds for this. I mean, we can't hire these type of people.
Right.
Financial resources, don't have the funds.
Don't have the funds.
Outreach, engagement, I said, well, probably do education. People can go to educational seminars and stuff like that. And then they said, what are the top 3 needs to improve your community's capacity to implement hazard mitigation projects and strategies? I said grants would be nice. Money. Number 2, contract with consultants. I mean, we could contract with consultants. Again, that costs money. Education, seminars, and training. So,
And donations you could add onto that too.
donations. And I think that was pretty much it. Having trouble with pages tonight.
Speaking of which, Robin, on future agenda items, that speed sign that's on Short Hills Road that never operates. Put that on the agenda.
So that's due tomorrow. You can fill that out online, right?
Yeah, I
Going-
believe so. If not,
We
I will
just scan it.
scan it, complete the top part here and scan it and send it in to us.
Okay.
So are we on to agenda items then?
Future agenda items, yeah.
The one thing I want to bring up is, we have contracts that we need to renew, particularly ditch mowing, the parks mowing, and the maintaining of the dry ponds. We have sort of 1-year renewing contracts right now with that, and perhaps, currently we have one contractor doing it all, so it may be in that wise time to combine those into one.
And update that, just update the
Right.
contract for an extended period of time since he's more or less kind of a town employee.
Yeah, we had initially done them as a 1-year contract to see how,
Yeah.
how it's been going very well, so.
No, but those dry ponds gotta be addressed again
Yeah,
next year for sure. Otherwise they're gonna get,
yeah, I think the only other contract that I saw that was sort of outstanding is the snow plowing contract, but I don't know if that's an annual, just continues to renew. We have sort of a main one, and then we have one that we sign off on each year. April 2024 was the end of the more robust portion of the contract.
yeah, and really all we're looking at is the price increase every year on that.
Right,
Which
so-
hasn't been anything out of reason that I don't think the board has seen anyway.
Yep, so,
You got the wake boat thing on there.
yep.
What was the other one I had on the top of my head? Oh, the Lake District thing. Put that one on there, discussion, action.
if we maybe have someone that's interested in a joint rec
We
with,
might
they'll
have, well, they're
appointments.
gonna have a bunch of people here for the other thing, and they're all, I think a whole lot of them are involved on that thing too, so might as well, get it more out in the open.
Okay. I posted that we were looking, but, okay. Do you have anything, Jim?
Nope. Just the ordinances that we talked about, the two.
Gotcha. Yep, I got those two.
And I don't know if you wanna put Wingard on there, and, or that piece of land as a topic when Dave's back.
Okay.
As far as what?
Well, if our board wants to even address that, or let the new board deal with that, deal with investigation of that.
Well, the comment that was made tonight is that the town should look into buying that. Well, it's city property, it's in the city.
Right, I know
so you
that.
can't, you can't
You
take
can't.
it from a city, go
Yeah.
back to a town, so
Right.
that's out.
All right, so that's kinda what I thought, but just wanted to throw it out there. And it's a dump too, wasn't it, a former?
Yeah.
So is that something because of the annexation process?
I think the
that we
annex,
said?
I think that is what
Yeah,
it is.
it was,
Well, I know it was annexed, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's part of it is you can't go back.
right, you can never
Annex.
go back. Once it's
Yeah.
annexed by a city, it can't go back to a town.
Okay.
It's, that's statute.
All right. Meeting scheduled, February 4th, 2025, Plan Commission meeting. February 4th, 2025, Town Board meeting, 7 PM. February 13th, 2025, Joint Rock Lake Committee meeting, 6 PM, City Hall. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 8 o'clock.